Okay, so today we're going to play headbands first before we start our game. And we're going to, you ask, I'll go first, okay? I'll ask questions.
I thought it was a
Your chocolate cake. Now, with these cards, you can leave your headband on if you want, or you can take it off. I'll leave mine on if you leave yours on. All right, so here's some more headbands cards. And they have some things in common, okay? What is this?
Sandwich, hot dog, hamburger, milk, ketchup,
Nice and loud.
pizza, and a tomato.
And a tomato, okay.
Delicious.
Okay, so what are all of these things?
Food.
They're food, okay? And what we'll see today, that each of these food has ingredients in them, okay? So like, for example, in our hamburger, what would be an ingredient that you would put on top of a hamburger?
Well, first of all, I put a burger.
Well, no, I mean here, pictured here. What would you put on it? What is this?
Ketchup.
Good, so that would be one ingredient. What about a hot dog? What else could you use to put on a... And there's other things too.
Yeah, like mustard.
Mustard, right. Okay, what about a sandwich? A tomato, okay? And for, let's say, our ice cream, what would be an ingredient that would go into our ice cream?
Milk.
Milk, very good. So there's a process, and there's a way that we can make things. And today in our book, okay, our book is called what?
How to make ice cream.
Great. So based on what you see in the title and the pictures here, can you tell me what you think this book is going to be about?
Ingredients to make ice cream.
Good. And how would you know? When I look at this book, I say, wow, there's spoons, and then there's jimmies, and then there's sugar, and then the title says ice cream. So I'm thinking all of these things might go into there. What else do you think when you see this picture?
I think of the rock salt and sugar and the Reese's Pieces. They have that.
You can't forget that. That's the best part, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So today, this kind of book that we're reading today is different from like your Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, because this book is called Informational Text. Okay? And what do you see? Do you see a part of a word in there that you know? Inform. And when I inform you of something, what am I doing? I'm telling you something. Okay? So informational text tells us things. Okay? So when we read this book, now that we know that it's an informational text, what do you think that it might tell us?
All the ingredients to make ice cream.
You're right. You're probably right because of the title.
It says
how to make. Right. And in order to make something, or for people to tell us how to do something, there needs to be steps, right? In writing, it's called sequencing. Okay? There's a sequence to things. There's an order that things happen. So, for example, let's talk about making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, okay? There's an order to do that. So if I were to write about how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, I might say the first step is to get bread. What would be the second step?
Get peanut butter.
Okay, the second step would be to get peanut butter. The next step would be to get jelly. The fourth step
would be to put the peanut butter on the bread. And then the fifth step would be to put the jelly on the bread. And then the sixth step would be just to put the two breads together. And there you go, you're done.
And then you're done, right? So now what about if I took out the bread and just folded it together and ate it? Would that be a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? No, that would be out of order. So these steps, the reason why authors write books like this in an informational text are to show us that these steps or sequences are really super important for us to know because there's an order to things. So what we're going to do today first is talk about these words, okay, that you might see in a book when we read this book, okay? These books indicate or tell us the time that something is happening. I'll give you an example. We already said it when we were talking about peanut butter and jelly. Words like first, What else? Now that you know that word.
Second.
Second.
And third.
Third.
And you can also do it in a different order. You can do first, next, and last.
Very good. There's other words that represent second or third. They show the order in which something is happening. They're very important, and you're definitely going to see that when we start to read this book together. Those words are called transition words, okay? So if I picked you up and I transitioned you over to here, what would I be doing?
Putting me in a different spot.
Right, moving you somewhere else. Well, these words move one point to the next. They give it an order, okay? So that's why they're calling transition. They're moving from one thought to the next, and they're showing you the order in which they go. So we're going to begin today by reading our book. And what I thought I would do is get you some of these bookmarkers. And what you're going to do is, when you flip through here, okay, and you see something that would indicate that there is a sequence, like first step, step two, third step, any of those words, I want you to take this and your marker, and I want you to write it down and then stuff it on that page, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Just so when we go back and answer our questions, you have these little bookmarks to remember you.
Mm-hmm.
Remember where you were. But even before that, we're going to do what's called an anticipation or reaction guide, okay? Anticipation means this. Do you know what anticipation means?
Nope.
Okay, so I'm sitting in my car and we're driving in for hours and I'm anticipating getting to Disney World. So what does that mean, anticipation?
Going from one place to the next.
Yes, that means you're waiting for something to happen, okay? In this guide, there's going to be an agree column or a disagree column, okay? And you're anticipating, that means we're going to wait and see at the end which one was right. We're going to read these statements right now, and you are going to check one box only. Either you agree or you disagree with these statements, okay? Then we're going to read your text, and then you're going to come back to these statements and see if you made the right prediction, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so here, you take your pen, and I'll read this. Ice cream is made in a bag. All right, and tell me what you checked.
Disagree.
Okay, you need ice cubes to make ice cream. Tell me what you checked.
Disagree.
Okay, one step you need, I'm sorry, I can't read like that. One step you need is to get 2 bags to make ice cream. And what did you check?
Disagree.
Okay, one ingredient included in the process of making ice cream is rock salt.
Disagree.
There are 5 steps to make ice cream. Agree. Okay, so you disagreed with all of them except for the one, which is there are 5 steps. Okay, so you're going to keep this right here so you can look at it. And we're going to begin to read our book together. Okay, I'm going to give you your bookmarks. And anytime that you see, remember, you see something that says step 1 or first or third or last, that's going to be a signal for you to write that down and stick it in your book. Okay?
With the pencil.
You can do it with pencil or pen, whatever you feel most comfortable with. Okay? Okay. On page 3 of your book, there is what's called a table of contents. Do you know what that's for? What is that for?
It's to tell you where it was. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 5, 4, and 3.
Right. It indicates chapters. It tells you where certain parts of the story are located. And for us, where is step 1 located?
Page 7.
Right. So do you see how this is not organized in chapters? They're organized in?
Numbers.
Right. So how many steps are there?
There are 5.
There are 5 steps. Do you remember seeing that on your anticipation guide?
Yeah.
So were you right? Okay. Remember that. We'll go back to that later. Okay? All right. So I want you to start reading this out loud for me.
You can make your own sweet treat. That's right. You can make your own ice cream. It's really easy and it.
Okay, you did a great job with putting your bookmarks inside of your book, and now we've come to the glossary at the end. Do you know what a glossary is?
Nope.
Okay, let's shake these out. You shake them out. Okay, and here are all your bookmarks. So let's take your anticipation guide back now, and let's see if you were right. Do you think you were right? No. Okay. All right. So let's see. I'll read these again now, and you go back over and see if you want to. Let's use the purple one. If you feel like you were right, let's just skip it. If not, you mark the right answer. Ice cream is made in a bag. You put disagree the first time. Were you right?
Nope.
Nope. So you're writing a agree. Because why?
Because I read the book and now I know that it's agreeable.
Right.
Because they shook it in a bag.
Great. The next one you wrote disagree also. You need ice cubes to make ice cream. After reading the book, what have you found?
That they used ice cubes.
They did use ice cubes.
A lot of them.
A lot of them, you're right. Why did they use those ice cubes?
To make it like cold and so they wouldn't have to use an ice cream maker.
Great. Right. Okay, you wrote disagree for this one also. One step you need is to get 2 bags to make ice cream. You wrote disagree. Do you still disagree with that, or do you agree with that?
I still disagree.
You still disagree with that? We didn't need 2 bags at all?
Oh, you needed 2 bags to make ice cream.
Do you remember? Can you tell me anything about why they used 2 bags? Do you remember that in the story?
No.
Okay, let's look back quickly. And I'll read it for you, and you tell me what you think. Open the larger bag. Place the smaller bag inside of the larger bag. Take out some ice cubes if you need it, and make sure the ice cubes mostly cover the smaller bag, and then seal it.
They had to get the 2 bags, dump one, and then seal it.
Right, exactly. So the rock salt wouldn't get in.
So that was an agree.
Right, so now you're going to change it to agree now that we've read the text together.
I think these are all agree.
We'll see. One ingredient included in the process of making ice cream is rock salt. You said disagree.
And it was agree.
Okay, so you're going to write agree. We also can tell here by looking at our picture that what was rock salt pictured here?
Right there.
There you go. And the last one you said agree with. There are 5 steps in making ice cream. Were you right?
Yes.
Yes, you were right. So that one, you rocked that one.
So we were all agree
except that
time.
All right. You did a really great job too with these. Tell me some of the words that you learned today that helped you with sequencing that you wrote down on these.
I learned step 1, page 7, now step 4, then step 5, now step 2, next step 3.
Right. All of those words helped us move through and know that when ice cream was made, you needed to do this, this, then this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now that we know how to sequence in a story, and now that we know that informational text helps us to learn something, you can read any book and know the difference between a narrative, which would be your Harry Potter books, just like your name, right?
Mm-hmm.
And your informational books, which are books that are like this. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do a writing lesson after it, and you're going to tell me about your own snack. You're going to pick your favorite snack, and you're going to write the order in which you put it together, okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, thanks, Ari.